Good evening, team. Good evening to all of us, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Ajua. I'm the coordinator for this. Unfortunately, my environment will not permit me to turn on my video. Please, I'm in a meeting somewhere, so I had to move out and do this. So this is Afterwork. This evening, we are speaking about how to make our speech spicy. It's not enough to deliver a speech. Once you deliver a speech just like that, it becomes something like vanilla. Now, this evening, we are going to learn how we can add other things. You know how when you have bland yogurt, probiotic yogurt, and you can add other things to make it colorful. I like to add strawberry yogurt to my white yogurt to make it colorful. So this evening, we are going to be learning ways to make our speeches spicy. And I will just dive in a 702 by introducing the individual who will be moderating this evening's program. She is in the person of Modukwe Badiru. Modukwe, forgive me if I have butchered your name. She joined Toastmasters in 2017. She's past president, area director, and current PQD of Division K. She's a sales and market support consultant and youth minister. She's also interested in working to leave a cleaner world for future generations. Modukwe, you've had my heart with that aim that you want to do, and I really hope that you are able to achieve this. Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any guests, I'll hand over to my moderator, Modukwe. Modukwe, over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ajua. Though I was looking forward to seeing your lovely face, and you pronounced my name perfectly, Modukwe. If you had not taught us the pronunciation of your name, I would have called you Adwa, but I know it's Ajua. Really nice to meet you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Welcome to the Afterwork session for today. I know that it's not easy and it's quite challenging to create time for this, so we appreciate everyone who has made time out to be here this evening. Without much ado, I'd like to introduce the speaker for today. Before I do that, I must mention that I'm a Yoruba woman. And for those who don't know, the Yoruba people are known for very, very spicy food. When it comes to people eating pepper, we are the ones called on the Yorubas of Southwest Nigeria. We are the pepper people. But this is apologies, I am back. Please confirm that you can hear me.
You can be heard and seen, please. Please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I was saying I'm a Yoruba woman, but this evening we will be going to someone who is not Yoruba, but I'm sure he loves peppered snails and peppered fish as well. He's called the Big Genius. He's a financial accountant, a Toastmaster extraordinaire. He's a speech coach, trainer, content writer, and transcriptionist. He is the current District 20 Table Topics champion. Give it up for Toastmaster Nameti Akpan, who, by the way, is the current president of the Kuwait Challengers Toastmasters Club. Welcome, the Big Genius, Toastmaster Nameti Akpan, as he tells us how to spice up our speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Nameti.
Thank you. Thank you so much. talking about pepper smells. Toastmaster Modupe, that's something I think you love that I love. And we're just going to talk about spices today. And you brought in pepper smell, and pepper is such a lovely spice. I don't know if it's the Yoruba pepper or the Kwabon pepper that I'll be using for this, but thank you so much for that warm introduction. Salam alaikum. I've learned that from the people in Kuwait, and good evening to everyone on the call. Please kindly type in the chat box, how do you feel right now? I want you to put it on the chat box. How do you feel? Toastmaster Modupe, I'd love you to help me. We're going to do this together. I want to get a check-in from the contestant. Someone said, happy chili. Hold on. I think I got this. Someone said chili. Hold on, please. Let me check my chat box so that I can read your responses. This is happy Adeshola Aleda Shawe. I hope I got that right. My IPP said chilled. I thought you said chili. I said, Pepe is chili and you're chill. That means you're great. Cool. I love that. Happy, cool, and chill. Wale Thomas. Kayode Yusuf. Long day. Looking forward to our toast after this session. I love that. The Zing GTM. Relax. I was exhausted. Toastmaster Follow Alamina. Grateful and expectant. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please, I'm so excited. I don't know. I've not chilled like this before, but I think that just like a lot of people have said, they want to chill. And I think we can chill with chili pepper smells today. And then we'll just change everything to learning to spice it up with fun and just chill after work. I love what we're doing. Thank you, Toastmaster Modupe, for inviting me. So, like I said, we're going to do this together. So, confirm that you can see my screen. Timer, please, you can stop me when I am at 20 minutes so that I can get up and then come back here. I want to make sure that we don't take the longer than 30 minutes of the session to be allotted today. So please confirm that you can see my screen. Can you?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've seen a lot of friends on the call, so we did this together. I love the word imagine. Imagine. I want everyone to describe the image that is seen on the screen in the chat box. Describe the image that is seen on the screen in the chat box. Okay, I'm not going to read those images, but I just want you to describe them as much as you can. Give the words, there's no wrong or right answer. Today, the topic is how to spice up your speeches and using words. So I want to use the words to describe this image. Talk about just what to see. Talk about what to see. Talk about what to feel. Talk about what you imagine in this image. Leave it in the chat box, and we'll come back to that at the end of this presentation. So, there are certain elements that can make a great speech. There are certain elements that can make a memorable speech. There are certain elements that can make an unforgettable speech. There are certain elements that can make a speech that leaves a legacy of a lifetime. I want you to imagine the speeches that you love, from I Have a Dream speech to my favorite is the one by Steve Jobs, Stay Hungry or Stay Foolish, to Mandela speeches, or to even the ones you've heard in the stories, in the folktales. I want you to imagine those speeches. What do you remember? What do you think the speech writers or the crafters infused into those speeches. That is what I think the topic refers to as spices. Now imagine a meal without spices. How would it taste to you? Imagine a bland environment. Look at this image and imagine that this image was not like this. It was just a bare ground. What someone changed into this. So I want you to imagine that a speech is like that as an idea, but with spices, with those elements of something that can be memorable, like a delicious meal. So, what are the elements of a great speech? What do we use to spice a speech? Good. Hold on. The first thing I have learned, I'm going to share personal experiences. We are all Toastmasters, and I think would agree with this, is a captivating hook. For a great speech, you need, and I had to bring out these images because I want you to imagine what a hook is if you are fishing. And imagine yourself to be a fisherman going to fish. And there is a hook, the line, the sinker, and this fishing hook. And imagine that you've caught a fish, and you want to bring the fish here. But you know definitely when once the fish is hooked, it is almost impossible for it to leave the hook. So in my opinion, the first thing you need to spice up your speech is a captivating hook, because in the first 2 seconds, the audience can either drowse away, they can tell what they are in for, just like the thriller in a blockbuster movie that makes you sit at the edge of your chair. That is what a captivating hook does to a speech. So the question you might want to ask yourself each time you're preparing a speech is, the first things I'm going to say, how captivating will it hook the audience? And once the audience is hooked, it's very difficult not to get them. It will be memorable. The next thing, an example, before I go to this, an example of a captivating, like I chose a question, is this statement that was used by a Toastmaster at Surulere Club meeting yesterday, Toastmaster Ruben. And I loved how you can use a question, you can use a quote, you can use, we know these things. You can use a storyline, but anything you want to use, make sure it's captivating on the line, the word captivating. Here's a question he asked. When you delete something from the computer, where does it go to? And everyone for us, the recycle bin. But this wasn't all. The next thing Ruben said was, imagine that the recycle bin has been deleted. Where does the deleted recycle bin go to? And everyone paused and began to think. Yes, the recycle bin has been deleted. All right. The second thing, storytelling. The world's greatest speakers are storytellers. In fact, as a young boy, I heard of tales by Moonlight, one of the most popular TV show production by Moonlight. It's always, I can still even hear the sound of the music. So I want to ask you, do you know that with stories, you can take an ordinary speech to a memorable one? In fact, as long as there is a story, Robert Martin's storytelling is the most powerful way to put ideas into the world. Each time you go to an audience and then the next thing you say is, this morning, when I woke up, or you said, just some minutes ago, or you say 3 months ago, or you say 10 years ago, when I started university. It seems like an antenna that is raised to the others because the story is about to be told. And everyone knows that stories make them live and come alive. So in order to spice up your presentations, it's important that we bring in stories, because storytelling is the most powerful way to put ideas in the world. Gandhi, Mandela, Barack. Remember Barack's presentation at the convention where he talked about his father and his grandfather. It was so inspiring, even when it was a political event. And I think that stories have been told from ancient to today. They will never ever lose their value. Humor has been underrated. Zoom Master, please, can you help us? Yeah, as I want to suspect that person is trying to tell us a story, but we would like to listen to the story after now. Humor has been underrated, but I think that humor is one of the most powerful things. Everyone loves laugh. I saw this and I felt that it was powerful. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I come to wonder, what didn't even carry me go the shadow that day I did grace? You know, humor has a way of making the audience laugh and connect with you. And there are different kinds of humor. For me, the most important humor is the one that you make about yourself, self-defeating humor. I have a member of my club, the choir master, who wasn't a very tall person. But each time he wants to speak to an audience, he likes to refer to himself as someone who was not favored by height. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I wasn't favored by height. Immediately he does that, everyone will crack up. So I think humor, in my opinion, is something that can bring therapy, that can help people to connect with you in an interesting way. Practice, practice, practice. This is one other way to spice up your speech. I don't think there's a substitute for this. In fact, that is why I had to say it 3 times. Practice, practice, practice. An unprepared speech, a speech that has not been well practiced, does not have the same energy as the one that has been practiced. The woman that won the Toastmasters International Contest, Verity Price, said he gave his speech in about 40 clubs, the same speech in about 40 clubs. And each time he gave the speech, he got feedback. Each time he delivered the speech, he got feedback. Sometimes, without even giving your speech in the club, it's important to practice in front of family members. Practice in front of the mirror, whatever works for you. I have a club member that practices in front of the water. I have a club member that prefers to go to a resort just to speak aloud. What practice does is that it ingrains the speech in your subconscious. And I have to use that again, subconscious. It works on the principle of repetition and memory. And truth is, a speech that is given from the subconscious, or albeit the unconscious, you've slept over it, you've heard it, and then you've slept over it, is different from the one that is given from the conscious mind. Because each time you repeat the speech, you have a fresh impression. And there's also this idea that before you serve others your speech, you should serve yourself the speech first. That way, you become familiar with the speech and you build more confidence. There are no mistakes, only opportunities. So I want to end on this note. In order to spice up your speech, you need to recognize that giving a speech is like cooking, and there are no mistakes. You apply trial and error. When I learned how to cook, and this is a true story, I used to think that there is a formula for getting certain delicacies done. Until one day, I told myself, Namiti, cooking is an art. And as a true artist, I should be able to experiment the different range of colors. Through this, some people prefer curry leaf, others prefer ginger, others would prefer garlic. In the world of spicing up your speech, I think it's important that you try different things. Use quotes if you have to, and try it out, see what works. In crafting your opening for one speech, you try the quotes first and find out from someone, if I start the speech with a quote, how does it sound? If I use a rhetorical question, how does it sound? One of my club members started her speech with, and this is a true story, if you talk small, small, children know they hear. That is a quote that she developed in Pidgin. But then after the speech, everyone could relate to it, which takes me to one important part of spicing up the speech, audience engagement. And that is why I had to take out the visuals and come back to you. Before I go on, I want us to type in the chat box the things that we have picked up from the session already. Is there anything that you picked up from this session, from all that I have said? Please type it in the chat box. I'm going to read out your responses. Or am I alone? I don't think so, because I feel the energy of everyone here. There are no mistakes, only opportunities. Paul Abbey. Good. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Stories paint pictures in a mind that audio. Adding humor makes a great difference. Experiment widely. The importance of an opening group. Toastmaster Chooks. Adeshola, experiment widely. Thank you. Humor, Odigbe. Grace Peter. Storytelling makes the speech memorable. Practice, practice, practice. Pastor Duke on the call. I'm excited. Benedictable practice. Use story, humor, practice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And audience engagement is one of the most powerful ways to spice up your speech. Just like what I did. Sometimes we want to talk to people, but people would rather have us talk with them. I always feel there's a difference between talking to people and talking with people. When Dini Chukwumeride Dean emerged the winner in the contest last year, one of his audience engagement tools was this. And for me, I thought it was profound. When he came to the audience and said, I'm Zimbabwe. And there is something we say in a language, Ndini. And then he taught the audience how to pronounce the word by spelling it first. Ndini. Ndini. And then he asked the audience, try it. And everyone said, Ndini. And he said, beautiful. The moment he could teach something new to the audience, he had brought value to the audience. And that is the last thing I want to say today. In whatever you do when you're talking to an audience, ask yourself, how will the audience get value from the speech? What is that new information that I'm going to share with them that they've never heard before? And do some research. Look at your audience, examine them, and ask yourself, this audience, there's something they don't know about what I'm going to talk about. How do I give them that new information? I tried this when I was giving a speech on writing. And then I did a research and realized that writer's block is something that we are all addicted to. I say, I don't want to write, I'm tired of writing. When I did my research, I realized that the American Psychological Association had confirmed that there is nothing like writer's block. It's actually a conscription in which writers conjure up to avoid responsibility for writing. And when I shared that with my audience, that writer's block is an illusion, is a conscription, so many people would remember. And it actually shifted, there was a paradigm shift in their consciousness. In whatever we do, we should always ask ourselves, what is that new information that I'm bringing to the audience today? What is that new information that my speech will capture? People love fresh ideas. Because oftentimes the audiences we speak to are very knowledgeable. But if you can share with them something they've never heard, something they've never learned, something they've never known, they will never forget that information that you shared. And lastly, end on a memorable note. As long as you open with a book, the last things you say in your speech should be the most memorable things you say. Ndini left his speech by saying, I, Ndini, this is me. Same way he started, or the same way he ended. But you can also leave your speech with a quote, with a call to action, with a powerful message. Today, I gave a speech somewhere, and my ending quote was, the power of education, according to Nelson Mandela. And Nelson said, and I quote, that education is the most powerful way to change the world. Distinguished Toastmasters, thank you so much for the time. I know I was supposed to use 30 minutes, but I think that we can go back and read, just like I said before, what we had shared in the beginning about the information I shared. I hope you learned something from this session. If you have any questions here, let us interact with you. It was an afterwork session. I hope there was value. Back to you. I wanted to read the responses we had about the image, but you can help me do that. Just trying to scroll up. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Madupe.
And we please give Toastmaster Nameti a beautiful round of applause. Toastmaster Nameti, confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much. That was very, very spicy, hot and smoking spicy. Thank you very much. My takeaway, personal takeaway is use humor and create that vivid imagery in the mind of my speakers, of my listeners. Thank you very much. At this point, I'd like to open the floor for questions. Please, if you have a question, if you want to put it in the chat box, go ahead. If you want to raise your hand, please do so. Questions for the big genius himself. Questions? Or did he do so well that we don't have any question for him? Oh, somebody missed the training session. and you miss quite a lot. We will have the recording and share it later on. Toastmaster Josephine says, thank you for that spicy special and superb session. Any question, please? Okay, so I'll ask my question. Toastmaster Namiti, as the champion of the table topic session, tell me, how easy is it to think on your feet and add spice to the things you need to say in a table topic session?
Thank you so much. Please confirm that you can hear me. I don't seem to have alignment.
Loud and clear.
We can hear you.
Oh, excellent. That's the power of feedback. Thank you so much. How does it feel to think on your feet? Okay, so I love mind shifts. I love paradigm shifts. I love that idea of tweaking ideas. I don't know how that sounded. People think prepared speeches are the bomb. I agree. But I think that impromptu speeches are the speeches that differentiate you from who you are. I don't know how that sounds. And why I think about that is because one asks you to play safe. The other one tells you to dive into the pool, like that pool I showed you. For prepared speeches, you know what you're going to say. And a lot of people would rather know what they're going to say it well than launch themselves into the world of uncertainty. For me, the world of uncertainty is the world of growth. I'm practicing impromptu speaking for about 3 years before I went for the contest. And how did I do that? I go for a club meeting. I did not wait for people to choose me. I chose myself. I volunteered. And so I had mastered, I think unconsciously, the art of listening to the speeches that I did not prepare for. So I felt that storytelling was a tool I used all the time. So the spices now. I use the spice of storytelling a lot because I felt that it was easier to flow with my personal stories. And the one that had me win the contest was a story of how I taught a boy who had problems paying attention back came to me. And then after school every day, I attended him. I gave him an hour every day. And after about 1-2 months, because of the attention I gave to that boy, he was able to blossom, to flourish, and to grow. It wasn't a true story per se, but it was something that happened that I had made up in the moment and garnished it and flourished it with humor, with quotes, and then with rhetorical questions and audience engagement. So for me, storytelling was the greatest spice. And then I added a quote, and then I started with a question, which was something that got the audience. And then I ended with a memorable call to action. But truth be told, it was storytelling that distinguished me from the others, the powerful story and the impact that it made on the audience. I don't know if I've answered that question. Thank you. Back to you.
Absolutely fantastic. Yes, you answered the question. So it's up to us to choose the particular blend of spices that we use in our storytelling and in our speech. Any question from the audience? Oh, somebody had shared a takeaway point. Don't wait to be called upon, but volunteer yourself. And that speaks to what you said about practice, practice, practice. Ensure that when the opportunity comes, you're ready to do something, you're ready to achieve. Wonderful, thank you very much. Do we have any question or comment, please?
Let me add to what Toastmaster Aisha, thank you so much for that contribution. So I think that, Toastmasters will ask you at the end of evaluation, challenge yourself. And oftentimes we wait to be chosen. And we don't recognize that we should actually choose ourselves. We should take the risk. We should take a chance on ourselves without someone taking a chance on us. I think that is one thing that helps us to build confidence. I mean, not just in Toastmasters. Sometimes you go for an event and there is a need for someone to talk on a particular topic. There's a need for someone to take the opening prayer. There's a need for someone to give contributions. Instead of waiting for someone to come to you, you can raise your hand. Can I handle that? Can I use the microphone? Do you have anything? Or can I stand in for an here? I think that the ability for us to invest confidence in ourselves is actually something very powerful. So I agree with Toastmaster Aisha. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aisha. Toastmaster Kausara says, when you volunteer, your brain starts cooking ideas. Your brain starts cooking ideas.
Absolutely.
Unlike when you wait to be called, one feels frozen and the brain shuts down at that moment. So when you volunteer, you've already kickstarted it, you're in the process of getting to speak. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Abdul Karim. Any other question or comments? May I ask Toastmaster Namiti, how did you get to be president of Kuwait Challengers?
Thank you.
And
so much
how have you been able to add spice to when speaking to people from another culture and another background?
Thank you so much for that question. Just Master Grace tells me something, my IPP, she likes to say, Namiti, when you are just in your club and speaking to the members of your club, you literally limit your audience awareness and your ability to be sensitive to to diverse audiences. And for me, I think that is what being in Kuwait, not just as president, because I used to go to the club during COVID as a member. I used to go to different clubs, but when I went to Kuwait Challengers, I sensed a safety in their space. And this is not personal to me, it's something every other member shares. You know that feeling when you step into a space and you just feel safe, you feel it's not home, but it is home away from home. So I was consistent, and over time, I decided to join the club. And so when the opportunity came, initially, it was about being Vice President Education. But Toastmaster Priscilla, who is my mentor, asked me when she called me back and said, Namiti, well, you've been president before. You've had the experience of VP. I said, I have. Okay, so do you want to be president? Can you serve the club? I said, okay, let me think about it. And after that, when I came back, I said, it's an opportunity. So Toastmasters gives us an opportunity of a lifetime when we step out to lead. Because there we grow and we are never the same person. Kuwait Challengers is a diverse club with members from Sri Lanka, Egypt, US, Saudi Arabia. So we have members from different clubs. So that it's like a melting pot of different cultures. I think that just being president from Nigeria gives people out there and projects the diversity of the club, because we also have members from different countries in the club. So it enables us to have that different spice from the different cultures. Thank you so much. I hope I've answered your question.
I certainly have done that, Toastmaster Namiti. Thank you. I can imagine what will happen on the day you have a physical meeting and everyone, you need to bring food from your culture. I can imagine what a lovely lunch or dinner you will have at such a session. We're moving towards closing. Any comments, any question before we round off? We should tax this man. Let's ask him questions.
Thank you, DTM Stella, for the kind words.
She's commending you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nameti. I won't allow you go yet. Final question from me to you. If you are not a humorous person, how do you learn? How do you develop that ability to use humor? I'm scared of trying to crack a joke and nobody laughs. So how do we get to the point where you can be spicy with your humor in your speech?
That's a very powerful question. Very powerful question, because we just finished humorous speech contest. And we know the number of people that kept saying, I am not a humorous person. I'm waiting for the international speech. I'm not a humorous person. No one will laugh. I don't have jokes. And I'm also not a humorous person. Let me be very honest. I don't see myself as a humorous person. I have people who are like me. I found some of them in Toastmasters too. So I feel that even when you are not naturally gifted, because there are people that I feel, I might be wrong, that are naturally gifted with humor. They have that sense of humor, but I feel that one can learn how to be humorous. One can learn how to be humorous by, first of all, knowing your own sense of humor. I have a feeling that we all have a sense of humor. There's thing that one person may not be funny to another. So I feel it's a skill that can be learned, but it might take time to practice. In other words, each time you have a speech and then you tweak certain parts of the speech and try out if people are going to respond in a certain way. So I think with trial and error, we can actually find out our own sense of humor and how that humor works. Some people have a sarcastic sense of humor, very sarcastic. Each time they are speaking, it comes with sarcasm. There are people that have an empowering sense of humor. They're always amplifying what I had a friend in my church, and we all thought that he used to be funny, because if someone gives 10 million in church, he will amplify it and tell you that the 10 million was brought in cash. He will say they brought in cash, and which he saw it. But we all know that we didn't, it was just amplifying and using, just creating humor. Because and each time he used that humor, we would be laughing, because we would tell him, Matoka, this is not true now. We all know it is not true. But he would emphasize it and say it is true. So I think that we all need to find out our own sense of humor, and also, first of all, recognize that humor can be learned. We can find humor if we dare look out for it. And that's by believing that we can actually learn it and we begin to look out for it. You know, I think over time we can always find it. Thank you.
Very well said. Thank you, Toastmaster Nameti. Oh, now we're just about to round off, and Toastmaster Ajua has a question. Do you want to unmute and ask your question, Toastmaster Ajua?
Yes,
please go ahead.
Yes, please, Toastmaster Modupe. And I want to say thank you for the brilliant moderating. Thank you so much. My question to Toastmaster Nameti is this: how do we draw the fine line between being just spicy and not too spicy? Because sometimes we want to be spicy, we may tend to be over spicy. And then, you know, when the speech is over spicy, people may shut down. So how do we draw the fine line between just being spicy and not being over spicy? I hope my question makes reasonable sense.
Yes, in everything, they said virtue is a middle ground. Anything that is too much is not healthy. Of course, you are familiar with that story of someone who adds either too much pepper, to a particular delicacy, and then people will not be able to finish it. In fact, the first person who takes the first spoon is asked for water. You can say, "Can I have water?" And then the next one, can. I think water is not. Do you people have very chilled water? You know, and then with that, you definitely know that the pepper in the meal is too much. And I think that's how speeches are. For example, if you, let me use details. Sometimes you want to talk about something that happened when you were growing up, or maybe your experience in the university. And the key point in that experience is probably how you felt a particular course and how you were able to pick up from there. And you're telling us about who your friends were in the university, who the lecturer was, describing the lecturer, you know, in a sense that is not even relatable to the purpose. So I feel the first thing to understand how knowing the speech purpose. Knowing the speech purpose. If the speech is focused on humor, then you definitely know that the right spice should be humor. If it's a speech that has to do with descriptive language, then you know that it's going to be descriptive language. So, but if you bring too much descriptive language in a speech that is not supposed to achieve that, for example, you are going to talk about leadership styles and you just go around describing so much when you're supposed to talk about the essentials of leadership, the qualities of a leader, and you're just describing imagery, telling us colors, talking about details that are not relevant. That means you overspice the speech. And so I feel that everything has to do with your purpose and your taste to the audience, because audience awareness is important. Sometimes if you are too humorous in a speech that's supposed to inspire people, of course, sometimes you listen. Now, let me give this example. I don't know, I just feel Obama was able to inspire a lot of people. I might be wrong. Martin Luther King was able to inspire the world. If you read Martin Luther King's speeches, there is no humor per se, because the purpose of the speech was probably to create a revolution. I have a dream that one day, or you listen to Mahatma Gandhi. So the words, the energy of the speech, and the purpose of the speech will determine the kind of spices that you use. So I think it's basically discretion, and it's about knowing the speech purpose. Thank you so much. I don't know if I've answered your question.
You've done a great job, Toastmaster Nameti. Finally, before we go, Toastmaster Kausera, please go ahead. Final question. I hope we all have our drinks, because we are going to toast to Toastmaster Nameti and to spicy speeches. Go ahead, Toastmaster Kausera.
Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Modupe. I'm meeting you for the first time. You are my namesake. I love your coordination. I love the way you coordinate this session very, very intelligibly. Yes, so Toastmaster Nameti, thank you for that wonderful session. Very inspiring, very fascinating. I look at you, how you deliver the session so calmly. Very powerful session, so calmly. Yeah, very, very inspiring. Yeah, a lot of people are looking up to do that in the nearest future. Thank you so much for doing this. That 30 minutes of delivery is a value add for me. I came back from work and I'm very tired. I said, no, let me join. I'm very sure I'm going to learn one or two things today. So my question, you're welcome. My question is, you mentioned something around practice. And I don't know if it is okay to ask, what amount of practice do you put into your speech, in the sense that you believe you've done enough practice in your mirror, in the bedroom, while you are driving, everywhere, and you got to the stage and you got frozen? Just me saying the audience, you got frozen and you missed all your lines. and then you just, to yourself, you fumble. So what do you think is causing? Is it that the amount of practice is not enough? Or is it that there's something that is wrong that the person is there to address or is there to be aware of? Please, I would love you to answer that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdul Karim. Before I answer this, let me just acknowledge Toastmaster Nduke's chat on the box. CM9 to challenge me to engage more humor. Yes, you can learn humor. Thank you so much for that feedback. Yes, I have a question. Okay, thank you. So I love your question. Thank you so much. Sometimes you hear people say brilliant question, very brilliant. And I resonate that question. Because at the time in my life, I had something that kept going on repeatedly. So I feel that the journey to being an effective communication is also the journey to self-awareness. And awareness is important because there are things that would happen over and over again, and there are patterns in your communication journey. And until you get to the roots of those events, you will not be able to demystify it and collapse the cobwebs in your consciousness and drive through it. And this is what happened. I used to find out that each time I speak in front of an audience, 2 minutes into the presentation, sometimes 1 minute, sometimes 15 seconds, I will freeze. And usually happens each time I start speaking, and then if there was a noisy room, everyone keeps quiet and they begin to listen to me. And then at that point, I'm not hearing my voice. And I'm not sure of what I am saying again. Once at the point while I was delivering it just for my friends, I literally dropped the mic and something I told as a story in one of my speeches and left the wedding arena and kept walking until I got, now this is a true story. And then I stumbled on something called the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect, it's actually a psychological phenomenon. In positive psychology, they said it is that belief that once you are in the spotlight, people can actually see through you. It's more like the illusion of transparency. So you've practiced on your own. But now as you go into the spotlight, something tells you that you're going to miss the light. Something tells you you're going to forget your script. Something tells you make a mistake. And like self-fulfilling prophecies, it happens. And because it happens and you come back and you wonder, why did it happen? And you try to sort it out. The next time you practice more, and then something keeps telling you that it's going to happen again. And today, what I learned was that it will always happen until you recognize that there is no perfect speech. I think that it is the addiction to perfection, the critical voice that makes us come out and give our speeches flawlessly. For me, I think the idea of flawless is an illusion, and this is personal. Presently, every speech I give in Toastmaster is not a final draft. In fact, once I'm done and I tick the project, I go back to the speech and I still see areas of improvement. No matter how hard you practice, you will not get it word for word. So why not screw it? Let it go. Let it go. For me, I always say, divorce the script. After you've done all the practice and you're in the spotlight, forget about the rest. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. No one has seen your script. No one will see when you've made a mistake. No one actually knows. Should be told. The one that wants just something. Just you know the environment. We don't know this. Why are you coming to tell us? So I think that recognizing that the spotlight effect is real and it's this illusion, you're not transparent. Recognizing that you are not attached to perfection, but you are attached to progress. In fact, progress over perfection. I think that will help you to understand that you miss your lines, you laugh. You get it, you forget something, you deliver, you always trust it. Thank you so much. I don't know,
Thank you so very much. That was brilliantly answered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my namesake, for that question. And another round of applause for our trainer tonight, Toastmaster Nameti Akpan, the big genius. Thank you. So many takeaways: the spotlight effect, divorce the script, practice, 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 and use your spice. Make sure that there's a nice balance to the use of the spices in your cooking and in your speech. Toastmaster Nameti, when we meet in Abuja, I owe you very spicy suya or snails. It's on me. Thank you so much. It's been amazing. The teams are immense. And I will start to do humorous speeches from now on. Going forward.
Yes. There is no limitation. No limitation.
No limitation. And you guys, you must laugh. Whether it's funny or not, just laugh. Encourage me. Okay, to close out the meeting, I'd like to call on Toastmaster Adenike Kolawole. She's an entrepreneur. She's a linguist. She's currently the vice president of Delta Afrique Toastmasters in Lagos, Nigeria. She will propose the toast. I hope you've all got your cups and your wine and your drinks and your tea. Toastmaster Adenike Kolawole, take it away. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you.
Loud and clear.
Thank you so much. Thank you, District 94, for this enthralling session. All the presenters, moderator, the presenter, Toastmaster Nnameti, you've done a great job. Very remarkable. I am so happy that I took part in this. This is my first time and I do not have any regrets at all. Thank you so much for such a great session. I have learned a lot. I normally don't volunteer for table topics. I shy away in my mind, but when I'm called, I try to come into the spotlight. But now I am going to raise my hand up. Anytime there's a table topic session, I'll be the first to raise my hands up, I promise. On that note, can we all unmute, put on our videos, let's see our lovely faces. We're about to toast to another successful District 94 Afterwork session. I can't see any glass, no face or no faces. I'm just seeing some funny pictures. Let me see your faces, please. Oh, that lovely orange cup. I'm seeing a white cup. Good, great.
This is Pami from.
That will work. We're celebrating. We celebrate you, Toastmaster Nnameti. Thank
you so much.
Toast to another successful session, District 94 Afterwork. Can we say cheers?
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm hearing one person's voice. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Yes. Don't break the table, oh, just cheers.
Yes, so cheers. Over to you, Madam Moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nike Kolawole, delectable lady of the land.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's been an amazingly spicy evening. I know we're quite tired and we've taken time out of our busy schedule to be here this evening. I want to say thank you to Toastmaster Ajua. I want to say thank you to Division K. You did amazingly well. And I want to encourage us to keep attending, not just because we're hosting today. Toastmaster Ajua, I hand over to the virtual lectern to you. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Modupe. You know, in my local parlance, we say that when you hear the sound of the cock roosting tomorrow morning, that is the District 94 saying thank you to you for your fabulous moderating, Toastmaster Nnameti, your immaculate presentation, and to our toast proposer. I have nothing else to say. All I want to say is every Monday, all roads lead to the District 94 Zoom link after work. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. That's from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We meet, we learn, we educate ourselves, and then we drink Pami. I'll see you next. See all
Pami
of
is
us
for
soon.
it's for the ancestors. So
Thank you.
Our own permit to us.
Thank you.
no worry,
have
when you
to
come
ship
to when
our
you come to
permit to
Abuja,
us.
when you come to Abuja, there will be a lot of Pami for you.
Please,
It'll be spice,
I'm looking forward to it. Spicy
oh,
Pami.
spice Pami from Benue, from Enugu, from Kwara, from Calabar, all over. You know, Abuja is the capital of
Permit offer.
yes, Pami all over the country will be here. So just we're looking forward to, you know, you
With
can come with your
spicy suya.
creative, you can come with your creative friends too, no problem in limited. Akpan.
Are you serious? I will.
Paul,
I will.
you seem to be marketing our conference for us.
I prefer Pami because they say it's a drink that has been given to us from heaven. That's the
Exactly.
only wine that has been bottled by God and sent to us.
Flesh and blood did not reveal this to you.
Toastmaster Namiki, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Good evening. Mr. Wale, we will
How are you?
talk, sir. I'm with you, sir. I'm with you. Good
Champion
evening. Thank you. I've seen my AD, Toastmaster Nduke, my IPP. They sing this thing. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm elated. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good night. Good night. Thank you.
Have a lovely evening.
Everyone, well done.
Have a lovely evening.
And if you hear a couple, that is